First time in America. Hey, that was a culture shock for me. Like, please, let's all be guided. It feels like I'm walking in Lagos. This is different, okay? America is literally a continent on its own. You guys don't send anybody, papa. Like, I feel sexy. I feel like I've never experienced that in my whole life. I don't get it. London could never. London could never. Hi guys. I don't even know the sequence of this video. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna put this, but right now we're about to check out of the hotel. So we found an Airbnb so that we can save money and stop spending money. God, it's expensive, Jesus. So we're heading out. The place has a kitchen, so we'll be able to cook and just, you know, cut down on costs significantly. I've been working all morning, but we're just packing up now, about to check out, head out. Funny sounds. Oh God, I'm tired. Okay guys, so we've arrived. I'm just gonna do a room tour. I don't know how I feel about it. It's giving like office, right?
Yeah,
it's giving office. There's a living area here. There's a mirror right at the entrance. Right here is the kitchen. Yeah, it's a small size kitchen. It works honestly, so we can cook finally. The bedroom. So this is the bedroom. Air conditioning is here, and outside that's the view. Oh, okay. And then the toilet right there.
You don't like the place?
Yeah, the air quality, I don't know, you say it's my nose, but my nose is really stuffy since I entered here.
Sorry. I think maybe they just clean the carpets.
Right? I don't know, there's something. Maybe it's bleach or I don't know, but there's something.
Yeah. So
that's fine. Hi guys. So it's been a lot. The past couple of hours has been a lot, okay? So the room we were in, it was stuffy. Like, the air quality there was really, really bad. My nose got really, like, it was, I don't know, congested, yeah. Right? And I started having like a banging headache. So we had to complain that it wasn't good. So they changed us to another room. Like, this is another room that we're in. But still, I don't feel good. I don't feel good at all. I'm having, my headache is still there, and then the air quality. So apparently this building is like an old building. Because of that, the quality of the air here, like, it's not great. After so many back and forths, we've decided that we're going back to the hotel that we came from, because that seems to be like the best option. It just sucks that we'll not be able to cook and we still have to keep spending on food. But right now, like, I don't mind. Honestly, we just need to get out of this place. It is terrible. It's bad. I've never entered a place and just become sick because of the place. Like, I've been feeling really, really down, and my head, I'm having a banging headache. So hopefully once we leave, that's gonna stop. I don't stress this man. Okay, let's go. That was how we checked out of that hotel, because the air there was very stale. Like, I was literally sick. As soon as I entered, after a couple minutes, I started feeling sick, and we had to, you know, request for a refund. It took a lot of back and forth for us to get our refund. Something I'll just say here that I've noticed is that in terms of hospitality, I'm sorry, but the service I've received from a lot of Americans is not as polite as it is in the UK. In the UK, there's this sense of, like, I don't know, I call it empathy. They're going to feel sorry. They're going to try to resolve it. But this manager, when we're telling her what the issues was, and she actually agreed, she's like, oh yeah, the building is old, that most of the buildings in New York are old, and what were we expecting? I'm like, God help me. So when we told her I wanted to get the refund and all, it took a lot of back and forth, a lot of talking, and, you know, just trying to get my money. And she was not even trying to see our side of it, because the refund they issued to us was $1,000 less. So we had to call her. We booked through Expedia. We had to call Expedia, call her. Like, there's a lot of back and forth. But long story short is we eventually got our full refund back. But so far, hospitality here is not as great. Like, I would like call it hospitality, politeness. Like, the being polite. Like in the UK, you tend to hear things like, oh, we're sorry about that, what can we do? Okay, let me call the manager, let me do, like, there's this willingness to just jump and help that I've not noticed here. So in this video, I just want to share my experience so far in America. First time in America. Hey, sorry, I don't know this song, but I just know that part of the song. First time in America. The first is the taxes. I don't get it. Like, the price I'm being told when I'm trying to purchase something is not the price I'm gonna eventually pay. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get the idea behind not adding the taxes at the full price. Because like back in the UK, if you're buying a bottle of water, best believe the tax is already applied to it. So I don't have to worry about, oh, like, how much am I spending? How much would the tax be? Like, I don't have to worry about all of that. It's all added into the price. And if you live in America, let me know, like, why is it done this way? Is it that maybe when you're trying to pay, when you're at the checkout, you can be like, oh, I don't agree with this tax amount is not correct, take this tax out, edit it, the tax is not correct. Like, is that the idea? Like, for you to be able to counter the tax price, if that's not the reason, then someone make it make sense to me. Please just add the tax prices. Just tell me the full price. Don't tell me it's $50. Then when I want to check out, it's $55. Please, just tell me the full price, okay? Another thing I've noticed here in America is that the houses are so much bigger and the roads are bigger. Like, just know that everything here is much bigger than it is in the UK. And obviously, that's expected. The UK is an island country. This is not an island. This has like 50 states. And just this state alone that I have been to, it is big. The house is like this hotel room I'm in is much bigger. The roof is also very high, which I really love. It makes the place feel very airy. So like the roads are bigger, the houses are bigger, the roof is taller in buildings. That's what I have noticed so far. Another really strange thing I have noticed here in New York is that weed is legal. So it is legal to smoke weed, it is legal to sell weed, and it is legal to buy weed. And I'm just like, hello? So like you could randomly be walking on the street and you're passively smoking weed. I hate it so much. Like every time I go on the street, best believe I'm gonna inhale weed. Like there's gonna be someone smoking weed nearby. And then also there are weed shops like at almost every corner. It's like a corner shop thing. Every street has a weed shop. So you can just walk in and buy weed and smoke it, and like it's legal. That was a culture shock for me, like major culture shock, because in the UK, I don't think it's legal. It's not something people do in the open. People don't smoke weed in the open. I mean, once in a while I could perceive weed in the air, but it's mostly in London that I've noticed that. And then like people do, it's not sold. You can't just walk into somewhere and say, oh, I want to buy weed. Like here there's shops. There are even like food that they'll be like cannabis infused kini. I'm like, from where to where? You please, let's all be guided. Another really cool thing about being in New York so far that I really love is the fact that the weather is very reliable. I've been here for almost 2 weeks now. I've never for once had to check the weather app and be like, hey Siri, what's the weather today? Or hey Alexa, what's the weather gonna be like today? It's almost always sunny. I don't know if it's the time of year that I came here and I love it. Like it always looks good. There's no depression in the weather, okay? And then also like sunglasses are essential. Almost everyone during the daytime is wearing sunglasses because trust me, it gets sometimes really hot and you'll be squinting if you don't have sunglasses on. So that's one part about living here that I like. The weather is very, very stable. And hand in hand with this is the humidity. There is humidity in New York. Like it feels like I'm walking in Lagos. Like the exact way you feel walking in Lagos is the way you feel walking in New York City, the city precisely. It's stale, it's humid, like the air is very hot, and like you just want to get into the next cold building. You want to enter where there's AC so you feel good immediately, do you get? But like it's hot, it's humid, and it's stale. And I don't really enjoy that part. Another thing that I have noticed so far is taxi drivers. So because I don't drive in the USA, I have to take an Uber almost every day. I wish I could take you guys along with me for work, but honestly I cannot vlog and work. Like I cannot do that. People that vlog their entire day, hats off to them. It's too much stress. Like I'm already stressed to work. I can't imagine carrying camera to vlog where I'm going and all of that. So no, I'm unable to do that. But almost every day I have to take an Uber somewhere. I have to take an Uber. So I've taken a ton of Ubers, okay? And what I can tell you that I've noticed is almost every time I get into an Uber or a taxi, no, mostly an Uber, I think I've taken taxis a few times. Almost every time I get into an Uber, the driver is on call. Like they're almost always on a phone call, and they'll be on the phone call throughout the ride. Now you might be like, yeah, that also happens in the UK. It happens, but it's not every time I enter the car. Like this one I've noticed is something I like that came to my attention. Like I noticed it. Like almost every time they're on phone calls, and they'll be on that phone call throughout the ride. Another thing about being in New York that I have noticed is that New York City is big. Okay, it is big. I have had to do trips of like an hour 30 minutes, like a drive of like an hour 30 minutes within the same state. That is ridiculous to me. Within the same state, I'm doing an hour 30 minutes drive. So there has been time when I've spent like almost 2 hours one way and 2 hours back, and I'm within the same city. Even just the parts of New York I have been to, I've realized just how big this state is. And this is not the biggest state in New York. So like, I'm just like, God, like it's massive. I need to understand when people be like, well, America is literally a continent on its own. It is massive. So from New York here, I will be traveling to Atlanta. So I'm going to go to Georgia, Atlanta precisely. So I'm excited to see what that looks like, and you know, my experience there as well, if it's going to be different. But like New York City is big, and because it is big, having a car here is kind of an essential. It's not like a nice to have. No, you need to drive. Like if you want to really enjoy your life in the city, you need to drive. You need to be able to, you know, hop on your car and go to, like, drive to wherever you want to drive to. Where we stay, like not even in London, where we stay in the UK, not a lot of people have cars. Like we can all walk the distance or, you know, walk to the nearest train station. But like here, there's a lot of cars compared to people on the street walking. But if you go to London, you're going to see a lot of people walking and less cars. I don't know if that makes sense. If you live in America, I would like to hear your 2 cents. So please leave a comment down below. If you've been to America, like what has stood out for you as someone who, you know, lives in the UK. So another thing that I've noticed here is, I'm sorry to say this, but from what I've noticed, now here's the thing, I've only been to one state, okay? So when I go to other states, I probably will have a different experience. But so far in New York, another thing I've noticed is that Americans don't dress as nice. Or let me not say Americans, let me say New Yorkers. New Yorkers don't dress as nice. And what I mean by that is, in the UK, when I step out, when I'm in London, there's this sense of people generally tend to, like, the dressing in UK is actually better than the dressing here. Like people wear anything outside. Like I've seen the most ridiculous outfits, and I'm like, girl or guy, like how are you wearing this on the street? Like you guys don't send anybody, papa. So there's this very, I don't know, like a relaxed vibe with how they dress. They literally can wear anything. I've seen people wear even like pajamas outside. It's really like that. Like nobody send anybody, papa, here, so I've noticed. In the UK, there's still a bit more caution with dressing, but here not as much. So that's something I've noticed. Hand in hand with this is that here in New York, I don't feel fat, I don't feel big. Let me explain what I mean. So I have gained weight, right? And this is something that in the UK, like when I was there, I was fully conscious of that. Like, oh, I've gained weight, I need to lose weight, oh, I need to lose weight. I told my husband, every time I'm on the street here, I feel so, pardon me to use this word, I feel so sexy. Like I feel sexy. I feel like the next best thing after sliced bread. And not just that, I've actually have people check me up in the city. Like I've had people walk up to me, want to talk to me, all of that kind of things. And then even when my husband is walking with me on the street, we've had like comments about me, like, oh, that he bagged a good one, or oh, his baby's fine, or stuff like that. We've had those kind of comments. That's because like here I feel so pretty. And here's why. Because the standard of beauty here, I don't know how to explain. The standard of beauty here is a bit different. I'm finding the best way to word this. So there are more bigger people in the USA. So there are more people that are, I'm not using this word as an offensive term, that's just the best way I can describe them. So there are more like fat people in the USA. There are more like big people of a larger size, like plus size people. There's a lot of that, a lot of people like that here. So when I'm outside, I now look like my size is small compared to like the sizes of people that are around me. I don't know if that makes sense. And because of that, it makes me, I'm not conscious. Like I'm never conscious of how I look here. Like I'm never like, oh my god, oh my stomach is showing. Because sometimes in the UK I'll be like, oh my stomach is showing, I need to, you know, hold my stomach in or something. There's that thing. Like I'm not conscious of that. I feel good here and I like it. Also, even though I like it, it also comes with a sense of caution. So I can see how if I live here for like 6 months, I might put on a lot of weight and not really give so much thought to it, because around me it's pretty normal to see people who are like of the bigger size. That's just something I've noticed, and I'm just like, when I go back to the UK, depression, sorrows weight problem, I'll start thinking about my weight. I'll start going back to the gym. I'll start being so conscious of my weight again. But like here, I'm not conscious of that at all. Hand in hand with this is their diet. So something that we've noticed is the diet has a lot of salt. It's ridiculous. The salt in the food here. How do you guys eat like that? How do you eat like that? The salt is a lot. So I had a salt, I don't know what to call it. I've never experienced that in my whole life. I couldn't film it because I was in the cinema. We ordered hot dogs, and when we were eating that, it was so salty, and I started having a reaction under my lip. Like it was having some irritations. I had to drink a lot of water. I had to stop eating. Like almost every time we buy something here, we end up either not eating it or trying to peel off the back or something because it is salty. The wings that I've bought in different places is salty. The hot dog, that is the sausage itself, is salty. The popcorn is salty. Fries is salty. Like, I don't know if it's maybe living in the UK has like changed my taste palette, but like it is salty. Food here is salty. I can't overemphasize that. And also something I've noticed in the UK is they would rather give you the salt to put the salt that you want. So see what I mean? If you buy fries here, best believe it's gonna be salty. Okay, but in the UK, if you buy fries, you're gonna get salt, and you can pour the salt yourself, so you get like have it to your taste. And I think I actually prefer that, which is why I really cannot wait to start cooking. So in Atlanta, we're gonna stay in an Airbnb. We've already booked it, so hopefully it's good. Like I really and honestly cannot wait to start cooking my food. Like I miss cooking. I've done a lot of ordering, eating out. I hate it so much, and also because I'm not enjoying the food. The last two things also that I've noticed is regarding payment. So the first is ATM withdrawals here are not free. So like I said, I'm new to the USA, so what I might be saying, if it's not true or if it doesn't apply in all cases, please let me know it down in the comments, because I have been in Brooklyn, I have withdrawn money there, I have withdrawn money here in Manhattan, and each time I did that, it wasn't my card provider that was charging, it's the ATM machine, like the ATM machine itself that charged me. Like they charge you to withdraw. And I'm like, why are you guys charging money? I mean, if you charge, and the card I'm using is a US card, just so you know, so it's not like it's currency or whatever. No, they just charge to withdraw. Another thing I've seen is sometimes when we want to pay merchants on the streets, like people that sell things on the street, they almost always want cash or Zelle. And if you want to use taps, if I want to pay with Apple Pay or something, they're gonna add an extra amount. Like today we bought water and a drink for $4.50. When we're about to pay and we told the guy it was card, he was like, oh, there's gonna be a 50 cents extra, so it's gonna be $5 instead. So like they charge an extra fee sometimes when you have to pay with card, and I'm like, I don't get it, because like in the UK we're trying to be a cashless economy, so people are encouraged more to tap and just like use their card as opposed to cash. So it's just a bit different. And the last thing here that goes hand in hand with this is when you go dining, like when you eat out or you're at a restaurant, when you want to pay, instead of them to come to you with the card machine for you to put in your details and pay there, you are to drop your card and then they take your card to the till. Like they take it away from you, do the payments and bring the card with you. I'm not comfortable with that. Like I'm not comfortable with that. Each time they tell me to drop my card, I'm like, bring the machine here, let me pay here. I don't trust you like that. Like literally all you need to do is take the picture of the front of my card and the back of my card, and that's it. You can use my details to do something, like you can maybe shop online or whatever. Bring the card to my table, I will pay on my table. And it's like a norm here, like people just do that and they're comfortable with it. You just drop your card. Somebody will take your card away from your presence for a couple minutes and come back and you're just fine with it. Like, that is so weird to me. I'm not comfortable with that. Okay, so I think that's everything. I think the last thing that I'll say is New York has a very vibrant nightlife. The other day, Jason and I went to see a movie and we're coming back, I think around like 11:30, and we were literally shocked. We were thinking that when we go out, the streets would be quiet. No, there were tons of people still on the street. Like it felt like it was just 8 o'clock. But that was like 11:30 to 12, almost midnight. And there was still like a lot of people. There were shops open. We were both screaming like London could never. London could never. By 11 p.m, everything, best believe, everything is shutting down. People are going home. but like there's a vibrant nightlife here. So if you're someone that likes night things, I'm sure you're gonna have a good time in New York. So yeah. Alright guys, so these are all my experiences. Some are good, some are bad. And if you stay in America or you stay in New York and some things I've mentioned that maybe might not be true in all cases, please let me know. I'm gonna read the comments below. And like I said, next place from here is Atlanta. So I'm really excited to leave this city and experience somewhere else. Till next time guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.